Okay, we start to record. Guess what? Blessed are God's grace. Now, what if one day, all of a sudden out of the blue, everything changes? Everything changes. Everything was great. Everything was perfect, but everything changes. Was it a blessing or was it God's grace? What's coming your way? A blessing or it's God's grace? Well, let me tell you through experience, the grace is being taken with the pain. The pain is experiencing traumas, like 2 or 3 car accidents, and you're still alive, while others die in car accidents, while others lose limbs and arms, just limbs altogether. What is a blessing or God's grace? Depending on the situation, depending on how you feel, depending on how you receive things, only you would know if it's a blessing or God's grace. Nobody can't tell you that. They may think it's a blessing to you from what they see, from what you've been through. But to you, it's not a blessing, it's God's grace. Because they don't know the many times God has answered and been there and showed you it is me that has allowed this to happen for you. It is me who turned this man's heart against this other man to save you, so that you shall be blessed. As many go and surrender and bless others. But this man has the capability to bless multiple, even the ones they're trying to bless. And yet, God allowed this man's heart to be humble for you. That itself is grace. Whenever the enemy is turned on and changes happen for the enemy, when the enemy came to attack you, it is God's grace that you are able to even talk about it. As the enemy continue to attack you, to emotionally think inside of themselves that they are getting over, when you know through God's grace that you are allowing God to do what He is supposed to do as you let it go in His hand, and you watch as the enemy continue to carry through, not knowing that the knowledge and the power will soon be revealed, that you may not even have to touch that enemy. There is another, or the enemy is so afraid of knowing that if I get caught, they must flee. They must run, they must go. Because the blessing they see the blessing. And they know if I stay here, I'm going to lose what I have. Even though I am winning over this individual, I still am going to lose what I have just because I won over that individual. That individual was the one not to touch. Have you ever been there? Have anybody ever asked you for money? Have anybody ever asked you for help? And you sit there and you think, this is God's child. This could be God's child. I could be entertaining a child of God. So don't worry why somebody go and bless an individual, but know when they know when to step off. That's when you know there is a covering, and that covering can be lost depending upon where that person wants to receive their help. They lose the covering because God knew I had to send this person here to cover you, because only this person can reveal what needs to be revealed to help you. But if I have to uncover you and remove this person, I cannot guarantee that the help that you need to receive will be received, or that the upcome of the upbringing or the coming out of what you shall receive should be greater. But it can't be greater, because it could have been greater if you would have received the covering, all that was coming with it. But because you allowed the covering to leave you and put more trust in what you believe with these little friends over here, so as the friends go down, then you go down. Even though all eyes are on the only individual that can make things happen and come true. These are the things in which we try to give complete understanding. And yet, though we don't change, we often know that life still reveals the same. How great is God to give you an audience in my recording? Because it is meant to happen. Because these are the things, this is why we like to do things non-live but live. Because it's live anyway. You just got live entertainment. You're getting live entertainment now. I'm sitting down. I'm talking to you. Today is a Sunday. I'm letting you know the blessing. I'm letting you know the grace. And yet in the blessing and the grace, I'm not the one arguing. There's someone else. And you don't get to see that, but you hear it. I see. Will I expose? No. Because it's not for me to expose. My exposure is exposing what's going on now, here, and true, and real. I'm blessed. Or God's grace that's carrying us on and on and on and on through life. Let's say somebody give you $100 right now. Is that a blessing or a grace? I remember the first time somebody gave me $100 was a female. Now you know it's hard. I'm a female. It's hard to understand females. So when a female give you money and they'll tell you ain't got to pay back, it's like, dang, she got out this 100 from her, you know what I'm saying? She don't ask for nothing, she don't want nothing. All she want to do, all this female wanted to see was me live my dream, or me not lose anything I have. And a lot of people don't understand that. That's why there's a lot of Decepticons. That's why we talk about Decepticons. And we let you know, I definitely not no Decepticons, because I have given to many. The Decepticons are the ones who going to stand by, like the West Side, South Side, North Side, East Side. Anybody on any side that deal with anybody that would know when they see somebody not trying to help them move up. Nowadays, family and friends, because people have lost the love that family have. There's no family agenda. There's no family love. People don't get back to where they at. They know that God is doing this and people are doing this, but they don't have the heart and the will to continue to be like God and continue to go back and focus and say, are you ready yet? Oh, you ain't ready yet, fam? Let me turn back around. Are you ready yet, fam? Are we going to do this? Oh, you ain't ready yet. Let me turn back around. And sometimes they will never give you an answer, but it don't mean that your answer will not be blessed or have grace by God. So continue to move along. Continue to make sure that you venture into the things that you want to do. Even though it seems like people are getting over you, people are teasing you. See how people are coming back. People will let you know. People are so, when they see the greatness in you, you ain't got to run nowhere. People are willing to help you. They're willing to give you that help. They're willing to sacrifice. Because nobody want that dramatic change. Nobody want to go back and see any houses burned down, any changes, or any parks destroyed. Things that the government are doing now. They taking down whole apartments in the hood that are bad now. That's what the government's doing now. Is that God's blessing or God's grace? Well, it is only to the hands who have shown they don't appreciate the free living by how they do things. Nobody say that anything is perfect where you live, but every day we work to receive, to get to perfection. We will never be perfect until God's Son's return, but until then, we ought to show some type of sign that we're working towards perfection. That is where most of the church leaders forget. We're working towards it. We will never be perfect. But I can camouflage all day like you camouflage all day. But trust and believe, we all have some imperfections. I'm not trying to find yours. I'm not trying to take your family down on yours, because I don't understand. And even though many people are out here suffering, back in the days, we used to get together as a country and fight for this food shortage. Now you got people going back in the days fighting this family and that family to receive, but not forgetting God can come down on that one particular family. That one particular family that's causing all, like to say, where is the mics that's coming up? I heard a lot about Mike. You heard a lot about mics coming up. A lot of mics came up. I was just talking in another video. So I'm looking, thinking, which mic coming up? And I couldn't pinpoint which mic was being blessed or having grace. So you know it was not of God, because only the devil camouflage, only the devil throw all this stuff your way. So he had to throw a lot of mics, because we couldn't figure out that one mic. That if we catch that mic, all eyes will be on him. But I think we got an idea of the blessing God can give. As my eyes continue to be sparked on you, it won't go off. It is stirred on you. That's the energy God will give in you when you discover your true enemies, whether it's a mic we all been looking for, or it's a blessing or grace in what you've been looking for. Know the difference and understanding when you are blessed by grace. Grace is when things happen to a lot of people, like COVID, and so many families live such grace, yet they don't give it to God, they give it to men, out of fear of what man's going to do next. But man himself don't even know what's going to happen. They say it's the universe, but they can only cultivate on that because they don't understand the universe. Because if they understood, and if it was the universe like they said it was, they would take care of the universe. And we see even that is being destroyed for the love of money. So know your blessings. Money is not a blessing. The blessing is what you can do with money after you have it. Whether you let it rise. Money can rise with eyes that you don't even see money is rising. People are millionaires. Millionaires. And you don't even know they're a millionaire because they're not showing you. We call them street hustlers. Walking near you looking like a bum. Ain't spending nothing near you. The money ain't going to them. It's going to somebody else they support, but they going to be on top. Is that a blessing? Or is that grace? It's a grace. Why is it grace? Because it can change. It can change, and then grace will be upon you, whether they receive to continue to live that type of life. Now the grace and the blessing is being taken away because so many of them are being killed, or naturally suicide or other things transpiring where they show that there's little covering over them, as I said. There can't be covering where there's chaos. Not too much covering. Because I remember when I wanted to go into the industry in music, and I had to decide what's my blessing. My blessing is realizing, looking and seeing, oh, these guys don't love each other. They in these streets, they making money, they claim love for each other, but when I look around, there's no love. There's pure straight up hate for the next one. He could be smiling, he could be right next to you smiling at you. And all the time he's waiting to take you down. Family or friend. And it has to do with the agendas of others that's behind that family or friend, whether they being threatened or whatever. But the great blessing and the great thing of knowing when it's a blessing, when God take you through, that's a blessing. The grace is when God begin to put his hands upon your enemy to remove them out of your way. Know that the enemy attacks are not allowed as they were. And as it started to cease in its growth by its level and how they come at you, know it is no longer just a blessing, but it is God's grace. And continue to be in the grace of God. Until next time, may we continue to grow. Growth starts here, not out there. Out there is material growth. You can get that money and you can lose that money. But in here, they can't take it. They don't see what you have. The heart, who knows it? I got $1 trillion in there. I got to let it shine out here. But how I let it shine, you may not see. It could be in this stream. It could be in that stream. It could be in that culture. It could be in that state. Everything don't have to be here where you live. For everything is global. For God is global. So all your blessings shall be global.